and welcome to your Saturday Night Counter-Strike fix. This is for the ESEA Mountain Dew League in the Australia-New Zealand region, Season 30, Week 5. And we're going to be checking out PopOutBoyz versus AVANT Gaming this evening on Cash, or Cash, however you want to say it. You're joined by myself, Jevons, and my co-caster, you and me. How you doing?
Hello. Oh, I'm loud.
You may very well be. You sound great in my ears, but I don't know what's happening on the stream.
It's very loud in my ears.
We're just waiting for all the players to hop into the server at this point. So we thought we might just sort of kick things off and have a bit of a chat as to what we're looking to see this evening between these two teams, both of which are, well, PopOutBoyz is a fairly new roster in terms of just all the players being together, but the players themselves have been around for a while.
Yeah, the players have been around for a while. They went out of playing CS professionally for a bit, I believe. And then they sort of just formed up and came back together as a new team that was labeled Sea Dogs for a while.
Yes,
and then they changed to PopOutBoyz. I think they may have actually had a couple of roster changes since they were known as Sea Dogs. So I'm not sure how they're running at the moment. I haven't seen them play recently, but same thing with the AVANT. They've had a few roster changes since I've actually watched them last.
Yeah, late 2018, and I believe the it was late 2018 that we saw a few changes there.
There was a
Basically,
lot of changes.
Was one of the new ones to the roster. Soju as well, who was previously on Legacy before that kind of folded.
Soju is an absolute madman at times. If he's on point, if he wants to go, he will absolutely destroy. He's like a Dick Stacy, or I can't think.
Or maybe a grass.
We worshipped him at IEM Sydney. I can't remember his name.
You're not thinking Nifty, are you?
Nifty,
yeah?
That's the one. You know, the boys who can pop off when they need it.
Well, no numbers rhyme with Soju, so we're gonna have to come up with a different chant for him. Yeah. But yeah, if he is gonna be popping off tonight, then that is gonna be absolutely amazing. One to watch, but perhaps a little bit terrifying for the other side, PopOutBoyz, to deal with, because you're right. Yep, they used to be on Sea Dogs, and if we can be honest, they haven't posted a lot of strong results. I think they do tend to suffer against I'd say the top 5 in the ANZ region.
Well, yeah, they do. They do suffer against the top 5, but at the same time, they do have a strong team behind them. They can go toe-to-toe with those top teams. It really depends on the map and the day, whether they're feeling it or whether it's a map that they're extremely comfortable with. I don't really have any stats in front of me for PopOutBoyz and what maps they love to play, but do you have anything?
Well, I would say that with this kind of matchup that you got at the moment, Keish might actually be one of the better choices for PopOutBoyz. AVANT have seen very good results on maps like Train and Overpass, where you do have to have those stronger setups and good executions. Then you really have to be able to sell fakes pretty well. On a map like Keish, it's a little bit more standard, if you will, a bit more puggy. So that may provide PopOutBoyz with a chance that actually they can try and lean a bit more into common strats, and perhaps even just with firepower as well.
Absolutely.
AVANT's that you know, because we talked about Soju just before, AVANT might just go, cool, if it's fire versus fire, then we can just play a very default game and try and win out that way. But another thing to note, though, is that because of AVANT's player history, there's a lot for PopOutBoyz to be researching here. So if they've done their homework and know how certain players on the AVANT side like to play, that could give them an in for this game.
It really could, and AVANT being such an established name and team, you expect them to be playing really well, and we're looking at it right now. All 5 players are in the server, and I don't see anyone from PopOutBoyz just as yet. So AVANT's ready to go. They want to be here. They want to win this game.
And on that note, they've had an incredibly good start to 2019. So they've been doing particularly well. Yeah, the only real times they've been challenged is really when they're sort of punching up, if you will. So if they've been facing the likes of Order or Chiefs, that's really the only times we've seen them lose and perhaps made it not look as competitive. So yeah, that's that makes this a advanced game to lose, and
it really is. But I want to bring it backwards for a minute. You mentioned that Cache is more of a Puggy style map. In saying that, with AVANT and their more experienced players, they're going to have the edge, especially because it is a Puggy style map. Everyone knows how to play it regardless. So whether or not you've just come into the pro scene, whether you've been in it for a while, if you've been in it for a while, you have a much higher understanding and level of play for Cache than a lot of other people will have. So with PopOutBoyz being relatively new, they're still going to have sort of scrim strats and matchmaking strats for Cache rather than AVANT's pro tier strats and gameplay and how they execute.
Well, yeah, that's a very good counterpoint to this. The only real silver lining to that is just the fact that, unlike with maps like, say, Train or Overpass or anything like that, you don't necessarily have a shallow strat pool there. You just have, as you pointed out particularly well, potentially just a very readable strat pool instead.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we are actually seeing a few of the PopOutBoyz jumping into the server now. It's just a couple of them. In fact, I think we've got an extra on AVANT there, so I believe that's
coach.
Yeah, that'll be their coach, so that's fine, of course. But with that said, we've said that this is pretty much going to be a bit of an uphill battle for PopOutBoyz, but this is something that I've been hoping to see from this side for a while, and that is basically the players who have been in the scene for years, pretty much finding a proper home in this lineup. I mean, you see it with other regions as well. For example, say Shazam and Complexity, also Swole Patrol. These are teams which are sort of cobbled together out of a few misfits, or people who just haven't been able to find a proper footing in the pro scene over years, and then they hop into the right lineup, or they mature a bit and their approach to the game changes, and they're able to get great results out of it. So there's a lot of potential in PopOutBoyz. So we might see it tonight. We might see it later on in MDL Season 30, though.
There is a lot of potential, but at the same time saying that, sorry, I just blanked for a second. You have the what am I looking for?
What are you looking for?
What am I looking for? I completely spaced. I had a train of thought.
That is all right though.
Yeah, fitting in with the lineup. So you see a lot of roster changes currently because nobody has that team synergy that everyone's looking for. You can't just get thrown into a team. You actually have to get along with your teammates. You have to have a good time and be able to laugh and play with them as if they're your best friends, rather than 100% serious, just jumping straight into it. So with a lot of roster changes, teams don't get that chance to sit down and build that friendship or get to that level where everyone's 100% comfortable with each other and can play with each other seamlessly. So we see a lot of roster changes, and that unbalances players because they're trying to settle into a team and then they get swapped out to another team, or they have to get dropped from their team because somebody else is a better fit, and then they're off balance and they can't perform as well because they keep getting swapped out and they're not in a set environment that they used to.
Well, Yeah, you're absolutely correct there. I mean, that's potentially going to be one thing that might help with Pop Out Boys. Which, speaking of which, we're about to jump into the knife round there. So thank you for your patience so far. We should be hopping into the game proper soon. But with Pop Out Boys, yeah, this team name Pop Out Boys is new, but yeah, Sea Dogs has was functioning for pretty much most of 2018, if I'm not mistaken.
That they were, and they were a really good team. They were standing up against top tier teams like AVANT, Tainted Minds, Order Chiefs. So I'm excited and interested to see what they're going to put up and how they're going to run this throughout 2019, throughout season 30 of the MDL, and the upcoming seasons as well. So I'm hoping to see them evolve and mature as a team and be able to stand up at the highest level and say, "Hey, we're a real team. Don't knock us." Even though they have essentially just come out as a proper form team, compared to a lot of teams that are already established in the region.
Ooh, well, we're into the pistol round now, and we're seeing boost into counter boost though, and the trades come out. Mayweather and Panic there, both doing some work. It's actually down to Panic there to try and get something. He gets a 3k from the boost, and that sets them up, as well as Soju's kill, to do great things. So now down to... And Pop Out Boys are going to meme me a little bit here because they've got very similar names for the entire roster. So I'll have to find out exactly who Ivorp is.
Yeah, we had that last time. What? Last time we had Ivor and Igor. Now it's Ivor and Ebor, or Ibor, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know. Well, it's really trippy, and it makes it hard.
Well, whoever Ivor is, fortunately, was in the position where he could have been pretty much baited into one angle and hit from two others, and that's exactly what happened there. So Avant see themselves with a decent first round. They're going to be investing very heavily into this one with 2 rifles. That's an SSG as well. Sorry, just the SG. And now this one's going to be a little bit interesting because the AUG's definitely taken off a little bit, but the SG hasn't necessarily seen quite the same amount of love yet, and that's perhaps because of the effectiveness of the AK. But with Pop Out Boys preying on Deagles, I think we're not really going to see too much of a response to anything here. So yeah, what have you made of the SG so far?
Well, it's very similar to the AUG. I don't see why it's not being picked up as much, other than that the AK is super effective and it has the one-shot potential that the AUG and SG don't. So with that, I mean, the SG is a great gun, especially for holding long angles with the scope on it. If you can't afford an AWP or a scout, I mean, you can afford a scout, but you don't want the single shot of the scout. You want to be able to fire more than once in situations where you're getting overrun. I mean, if you miss that first shot, or even if you hit it, they're still alive and are in extreme danger running with that scout. So you want the AWP or bring out an SG or an AUG, and you can shut pretty much anything down.
Well, we're seeing a very broadly spread out T-line there, which is exactly what you want from Avant. This stage of the round, it's just coming up to 1 minute 15 seconds left, and they're still just trying to probe for information. Also, credit to Pop Out Boys for not really giving them too much. But that being said, Avant's setting up for mid. I think that Molotov might have been a little bit short there. Actually, no, that might have done exactly what they needed it to.
It landed directly in the vent. It was perfect. But in saying that the T-line was spread out relatively evenly and nicely across the map, the CTs were pretty much a mirror of them at that point. So the Pop Out Boys is sitting back and covering the entire map the same way that Avant is. So anybody who does get spotted is immediately covered, or there's somebody that can move in really quickly. But JHD is... Oh, no, he didn't see that Whiffle
no,
was
he
still
didn't.
there.
And that pretty much leaves it to a 2 versus 2 here. Avant have got themselves the B bomb site, but they don't have the plant yet, and Raz is about to be caught out completely. Leaves it to Soju. This is pretty much the expert play that we want to see from him. It's why they've got him on this team. SG does 1 kill.
There it is.
Oh,
That's how
there
you
we
use the
go.
SG, boys.
Does what it says on the tin there as far as Soju's concerned. That was a very good pickup
bullets
from
and kills
him.
people.
Yeah. Pop out potentially. I don't want to say overextending because initially, yep, you want to keep eyes on that bomb there. You don't necessarily want Avant to run away with it, but at the same time, you know, there is such little time. There's only one place they could have gone for it, and perhaps waiting for the plant or anything like that might have been the more conservative move. But that being said, that is that 2020 hindsight there for you.
You can
This has
always
actually reset the economy on Pop Out.
You can always talk about it when you can see everything. Like,
oh, that too, yeah.
Sitting here, we can see everyone at all times, and the players have to go off, well, the information that they gather, which can be extremely difficult at times. And as I'm saying, this is down to a 2v2 just off those deagles.
Yeah. Ivorp and JHD doing great things with them, but Elusive will get the drop on Ivor. I don't know if they've actually spotted JHD yet. Soju's angle indicates that they have, especially now they've shot him in the face. So, yeah.
I mean, that's a good indicator that they know where you are when there's
well,
bullets
yeah,
flying at your face.
But Pop
okay.
Out are gonna get the AWP now, so that might change things a little bit.
It might, but it depends on where it's being played and what Panic is going to do with his own AWP. So, let me see. Ivor is playing in mid, and that is not where Panic is going. He's going towards B, which is... Actually, no. He fell back towards mid.
He's just keeping an eye on a close outside of our garage there, so... Bad position, but JHD there does get with you just out of vent, I think?
Yeah, it was just under the vent in B, in checkers there. And it's making it a little bit awkward for Avant. They want to push in, but their entry player has been taken down on Raz in a very dicey corner here now that JHD has pushed in. But he's got the AK and he does fall, taken down by Soju, and that leaves Glebe, the only player on the B side. Ivor is rotating in with that AWP though, so he could do a lot of damage. Glebe doesn't get anything, he does fall. Ivor able to come in with one of his own though, down to a 2v2 now. Elusive crossing over with the bomb, looking for that plant, but oh no, Ivor, what are you doing running through a molly?
He wanted to get the drop on them, because who runs through a molly, of course, and oh, just like what the molly did up in heaven there, the fact that the smoke actually hit him, even if they didn't see it, they would have heard it, and that pretty much gave away the game there. So Avant is staying pretty dominant here. Pop Out have had a few close moments where they could have taken a couple of rounds here, but it's just escaped their grasps.
We did say it was going to be an uphill battle for PopOutBoyz, and they're back to the Deagles again. They did almost take out the round last time down to a 2v2, but I'm not sure how it's going to turn out for them now.
That's hard to say. I mean, Ivor will get a initial kill there to start things off, but the boost by Panic.
Oh, Gleep.
Keep good eyes on there. Yeah, Gleep also getting a good shot. Yeah, Soju does actually get the trade there. And 3 versus 3 situation, this still favors Avant Gaming, of course, because they're on the T side and they can pick where they want to strike.
And they have weaponry.
And with that, yep, they've got the better weaponry, of course, as well. That's B site pretty much over to Avant. Raz not wanting to let even the rotates come in for that one.
No rotates allowed. Eyeball, the last player left alive, does have a deagle, and there's not really much he's going to be able to do. Raz taking his head clean off. And Jeff, what do you feel like the PopOutBoyz have to do here to be able to shut down Avant and get the rounds that they need?
I think firepower has been a major one for them. They've had so few chances to actually properly field some weaponry. The double AWP is perhaps a good start. It's also usually a sign that teams aren't necessarily looking to properly counter-strat a side. They just want to lock down long angles or sides as best as they can. But with that, we see a change from Avant, and that is a lot more mid-presence this time. They want to grab that, and early as well. It's only a minute 30 left into the round. But
Oh,
with that,
Ivor, what?
that double AWP is going to start doing some good work. One of them actually goes down, though. That is Mayweather out of the picture. So it brings back to a 3 versus 4, which really can work like a 3 versus 2 or even 3 versus 1, depending on how the CTs decide they want to position themselves. But with Ivor getting that kill in Z, and with the remaining Avant Gaming players walking into A, they are going to be into a stack. Plus, Ivor can actually rotate fairly quickly and get eyes onto truck or from truck there. So this is pretty much it. The firepower's definitely had a good impact on it. I think their biggest problem from here on is that when they find something that's going to work, they have to either slightly adjust it or radically adjust it just to keep Avant Gaming from catching on to it. And one thing is that they invested heavily into that first round. They got 2 AWPs. That seemed to do the trick. It did some good things for them, but now they can't afford that again. So does this mean they're actually going to see themselves reset? Oh, actually, well,
They might.
Fast play onto B.
Oh, look
Avant,
at JD.
I don't know if they're actually going to catch him. Oh, he has been caught out just a little bit. They're not reacting to him, though, not in time. And that pretty much stalls the approach expertly onto this B site. Soju, he's just below heaven now. He's the last one left. 1 versus 3.
PopOutBoyz, they love running through that Molotov on heaven. Mayweather just then, second play that I've seen do that this match. Soju with that flashbang, able to push Ivor back, taking down Glebe, but that Molotov from Ivor was able to drop Soju the last seconds. And PopOutBoyz, they've figured out how to stop Avant now. And Avant's running a little bit low on money.
They are, but here's the thing. Soju has a lot of money to work with, so if they want to drop an AWP later on, that's fine. They can give this third round on the side of PopOutBoyz. They can give it to them. That's absolutely all right, as long as they're still keeping up a consistent amount of damage to them. So PopOutBoyz, they're on that CT economy. They can't weather that too well at all.
No, they
and
can't.
that I think is going to be the success to perhaps the next round here, is if they basically take a lot of these guns, or at least utility, off of the CTs.
Yeah, the CT side is extremely difficult to manage economy, especially since everything is so much more expensive. So we'll see how that goes. But Soju, what are you repeating?
That was an
with
amazing repeat just to throw the flash. That is gutsy. I can tell you that much right now. And oh, Raz right at the end, he takes out 2 players. Look, that's enough, because Glebe is down to
Nothing.
So Glebe's got no helmets, he's got no defuse, he's got a smoke and a decoy. He's got the M4, that's about it.
Well, the no helmet is great. I love when I see people not buying helmets, especially because it is against relatively mostly AKs.
Yep.
If the meta does change with the AUG and people start picking up the SG more, so the CTs is going to start the CTs are going to have to start buying helmets again. Instead of saving that $350 that they can use on a smoke or a flashbang, they're going to have to start buying helmets to stop the SG from one-shot headshotting them. So if the meta changes slightly, that's going to break the CT economy a lot more. Especially if teams start buying it more just to put that CT pressure on. So they have to look at buying those helmets in all situations instead of risking it when you're expecting to encounter AKs.
I don't know if JHD actually saw Soju. If he did, that is going to be at least a bit of information. The vent pop after it should indicate that they're going for a bit of a split B approach here.
I'm not sure. I wasn't over there at the time.
Oh, well, it was just a glimpse. If JHD did see the barrel of Soju's gun,
a lot of the time you do spot that barrel. If any pixel moves, you're like, "What is that?" You look straight to it, and most of the time you will notice that barrel. But at this point, it doesn't look like he did notice it. Mayweather's the only person here on B, and the push is just coming in now. Actually, no, JHD, he's in checkers. He gets 2. Not able to get the third, but Mayweather is here, has been able to clean up 1, and his teammate as well.
That is very good. So they didn't necessarily over-rotate or anything like that, which is good. That's playing with a level head. And JHG's positioning there, because they didn't check the pack of checkers, that allowed him to pretty much completely disrupt the approach there from Avant Gaming onto that B site. The fact that he gets 2 kills, that's beautiful. That's extra. He could have gotten 1 and completely steered them away from what they're already focused on. Oh, panic.
That molly.
Yeah, that's,
So
it
much
burned.
damage.
Fire indeed hot. That,
Ow, touchies. Ow,
yes.
my brain just broke.
JHD, I don't think he actually saw them on that B main or sunroom approach there. They're going for the split B again, actually. And yep, see, that's the thing. If he wasn't hiding in the back there, that would have made things much more difficult. But it's now up to Ivor to be able to do something here. And they're moving. They're closing the distance on him with the orb. Mayweather comes in from the side there, is able to help out quite a bit.
No.
But Raz wants none of that guff and will quickly dispatch both of them.
And now that Orb's in the hand of Raz as well and holding the B side against the CTs pushing in, because they have to come from heaven and tree 90% of the time, it does make it extremely difficult to fight off an Orb. Glebe coming from the tree, we will be able to get 1, but that Orb's about to step out and take him down. Maybe not, he's pushed through, he's able to find Raz. Elusive, the last player left alive. How elusive can he be? That molly is going to do a little bit of damage, but not enough to keep elusive from peeking him and taking him down.
See, I think Glebe had the right idea there. You basically throw the incendiary down and stop them from being able to approach from B main. But here's the second part of that plan, though, is normally they're going to try and push that anyway, or they're going to try and get an angle around it because, hey, that CT thinks they're probably safe, right? That's an opportunity for you.
That
you
is
want to
true.
have somebody out.
But Glebe had so much time on the bomb. He didn't have to. Oh, Mayweather, that's a very nice shot. Very nice angle. JHD
Decent boost.
boosting him up. Yeah, I love seeing boosts. But back to my point, it's something that he had an extreme... Ooh.
Yes, that's what I was waiting for on Ivor. I was hoping he would keep an eye out for the possibility. I don't think he did, but his flick, his reaction to that was great.
It was amazing. But did Glebe, he had enough time to bait out that defuse. He didn't have to stick it. He could have tapped it, and he knew that the T would have pushed around that molly. That is a standard thing that happens.
Oh, definitely, yes, and that was pretty much the full breadth of opportunity available to him. This positioning, oh, never you mind. Positioning doesn't matter if you got Glebe on the CZ. Apparently, you can just tear through your team.
Oh, what?
Mayweather is airborne.
He's trying to 360. It looks like flying through the air. But usually it's his fists that are flying, knocking people out. But now it is Raz, last player left alive, and JHD will be able to take him down.
Yep, and this is each one of these rounds is going to be great for PopOutBoyz. They of course want to get to that more tenable position of at least 6, and if they can win the half, that's beautiful for them. They want as many advantages as they possibly can here, because the tables may very well turn as soon as we see the PopOutBoyz on the T side. They aren't necessarily... they may find that with such a well-oiled machine like Avant Gaming, they're gonna function a lot better in a more passive setting.
Yeah,
like the CT side. So they're able to react to things a bit more. But enough of that. Avant has gone for a bit of a force-up here. They think they can basically run circles around the PopOutBoyz, and I don't know if they're going to hear that boost, but if they did, that could be interesting.
That boost is relatively easy to hear, but if they did hear it, I believe they likely would have sprayed down through it. So, and
yeah,
Panic's not checking this. No, they're about to get destroyed by Glebe here. Oh no, Glebe, he's spotted out. He misses a lot of shots. Will be able to get taken down. Eyeball. He gets 2 kills, but Raz, last player left alive, once again ends relatively low HP.
Yeah, he gets given the tough ones. You can definitely say that. But 1 kill was a start. A return kill though. A trade out when you've got only 1 person left. That's going to end the round. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Look at Raz real quickly. He has 21 kills.
yeah,
He's putting in work for Avant, and he it is a lot because he is the last player as well. He is getting those exit kills towards the end of the round when he's the last player alive, having to try and do everything. But at the same time, if maybe one other person played relatively closer to Raz or slowed it down slightly, you'd have another player alive, and it wouldn't be a 1vx situation every single time. But at the same time, in saying that, you have to have everyone go in how they do just to get down to those situations, and they're rushing into A site now. Glebe running out of bullets, not quite enough to get the kills. And Panic, last player left alive now.
Ooh, yep, running straight for the bomb won't really, yeah.
Never run straight for anything.
Interestingly, we basically had a pop out versus an eco rush there, or an execute onto Avant Gaming, from Avant Gaming, sorry. And they didn't have those helmets, which again, this is a point that you were talking about before. Not really much point having the helmet if you're going to have an AK bullet fly through it. That's an instant death either way. If you're up against P250s, though, and CZs, that's a very different story. And the fact that we're actually able to see PopOutBoyz hold on for so long after one of their A-side defenders died was because they did get dinked, but they had the helmet. So, yeah, that worked out for them. But this is the last round of the first half, and this is looking very different. Tempo's been ramped up here as Soju runs onto the site. I don't think he's actually spotted out Glebe on that B platform.
They think it's clear. Glebe is sitting in the back of the site. Oh no, this could be amazing. 2 players left to find. Glebe will be able to take down the bomb. Elusive last player left alive in a 1v3. Can he find all 3 players, or will he get dropped? No! Eyeball peeking out with JHD, dropping Elusive and giving PopOutBoyz the lead for the first time in the game.
Yeah. PopOutBoyz, yeah, they're popping off. That's it. They're really actually adapting to the challenges that Avant's throwing at them. Once they'd actually figured out Avant's T side there, and they're actually able to buy up a lot of rifles and good weaponry, utility, all that kind of stuff. I think a bit of confidence came back to them. Things started to gel a lot more, and yeah, I'm just gonna say that I think they're warmed up now. So yeah, this is gonna make for an interesting second half.
It did take them a minute, but once they got into that groove and figured out how Avant's playing and how they want to counter them, then they started bringing it back, and they were down 6-0 at one point, bringing it back to 8-7. So they had a very, very good run of rounds, and now it's the PopOutBoyz' turn on the T side. And Avant's putting a very heavy presence towards B. Ivor is the man to fake this B side push. Soju will take him down, but now they're going to realize that it's an A push. And here it comes, Raz, the only player close enough to do anything. Actually, no, Elusive there as well, but Raz does get the first headshot. And now the rest of Avant is coming in.
That's it. It's going to be an A-site retake here. 3 versus 5. So these shots from the Glocks have to ring true. That is one player down. That's JHD doing good work there. Wow. Okay, Eyeball. Pretty much the last one alive. He has to try and stop something here, but he won't. That'll be Avant Gaming getting the second pistol round and tying it up 8-all.
Yeah, that will be Avant getting it, coming down to 8-all, but there it is. Raz does find the kit. I was wondering if he was going to pick that up, and that is something that I criticize a lot of teams for not doing. Having that kit on any round. It doesn't matter whether it's the first round or the last round of the game. You at least have to have one kit. And hopefully that's recoverable when it is needed in those last few seconds. Luckily, that round was over very quickly for Avant, giving them that opportunity to defuse without it.
Well, yeah, it's always a feels bad. But what else might be a feels bad is either going to be PopOutBoyz. If they lose this round, they're forced up heavily. That bomb plant, those kills, they really set the tone for this one. And they're just rushing into mid. They've got that mid control. They're getting highway control if they want it. And Wifia's having a basically molly off vent there. He wants none of it coming his way.
That's a lot of mid presence, but look at that. They instantly fall back. They wanted to push Avant out and make Avant uncomfortable.
I think they've done that.
They absolutely have. In advance, they pushed into A main just to get a little bit more control back, just to have at least some idea of what PopOutBoyz is trying to do. 2 players still out in mid, 1 in vent now. Looks like it is going to be once again another B split, but Panic is rotating around, checking Z. And it is going to be
they've clued in.
3 players to hold this. And oh no, Soju! He's able to get one before he falls, but that's going to make it extremely awkward on Whiff. The last player on the B side will get taken down. And here comes the rotate. Raz and Elusive. I feel like this is a point that they just need to save.
They're going to try and get something from Heaven, but whether they get it or not is going to be another question. Eyeball, I think, has to basically be the one that provides the opportunity for Raz to get that shot.
Well,
and I don't necessarily think he wants to. You know what? Let's never mind what I'm saying. JHD now has the...
They needed a kill much quicker than they actually got one. And now Elusive, no kit close enough for him to recover, and he just has to book it now. Actually, no, there is a kit just there, but he will be able to take down JHD and leave the site. Giving the round to PopOutBoyz, but... And doing a lot of harm to their economy as well. But Avant, they did lose that extra M4 that they had in hand, and that's going to make it very difficult for them to play this round out now. They're going to have to force up everything they have and just really run with pistols for the most part.
Yeah, that's it. They might have they might have killed everybody on PopOutBoyz, and PopOutBoyz forced up. But the economy for the T side is much easier to bring back. It is able to weather a lot more than the CT side. And yeah, I think the Desert Eagles, they might be able to do something here, but they've just got to get the right opportunities. And PopOutBoyz, they're changing things up. In fact, if you take a look at Ivor, he's already pushed into Zed.
That is
just
true.
gonna trade it out though. Never mind.
And I
Bomb's down on A and it's on its own.
I want to mention really quickly before Eyeball gets into this battle, if they did save immediately, they would have had 3 rifles into this round, giving them a better chance. But oh, Eyeball able to take down Whiffer. Does have 2 players left to find. Panic able to take him down. Oh no, JHD. Sorry, Eyeball. Now he gets taken down, and Panic, last player left alive. It came extremely close. Avant only needing those 2 rifles, which I was criticizing just a moment ago, for not saving that 3rd one. And well, PopOutBoyz, now they are on the back foot being broken, and it looks like they're just gonna run with another deco, trying to get some work done. They were able to get it done in the first half.
I was gonna say no utility, but they've got a decoy.
That's utility, and well, Glebe, you're missing a couple of shots there, buddy, and well, missing a head as well.
I think this is going to be Avant slowly chewing PopOutBoyz up and getting themselves the 10th round and putting themselves ahead for the first time in well, since that 14th round. So it's going to feel good that they can bring that one back. But PopOutBoyz are pretty much going for a bust here. They're going to rush out onto this B side, but the angles aren't working out for them. Soju's good positioning in the vent there pretty much allows them to take out one, then the other in B main.
That it does. And well, now we're down to PopOutBoyz in a very dicey position. I don't like that they forced up last round trying to get the round back, but they have done a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong, Avant is still in a dicey position, but it's not beneficial for PopOutBoyz to be doing this, and they're just rushing out mid with P250s. They haven't done anything, and Raz with the 4-man headshot spray down. Whiffer taking that first kill, stopping the ace, but man, Raz 28 kills now. He has been popping off.
Yeah, that's an amazing job from him. Soju as well, 20 kills. Things are looking pretty even across the board for PopOutBoyz as well. So any one of their rosters seems like they could pull out something amazing. That's kind of what they need at this point. They've got the AKs, they've got a bit of utility again. This is pretty much, if you go back to that first half, when they got the actual firepower to do what they wanted to do, that's when PopOutBoyz started working quite well. So if we're going to see a similar story here, oh no, that was almost a bit disastrous for Mayweather. It was going to get caught out by the flank as well, but Raz is pretty much here, ready to finish off the job with yeah, only Glebe now being a low health player.
That's true, but PopOutBoyz have once they got that weaponry, they were able to get those rounds and push back. But Avant, they have the lead. They have a little bit more economy, and as I'm saying this, PopOutBoyz are able to shut them down, and Avant's going to be in a very dicey position here, especially since the CT side is much more expensive. I wouldn't be surprised if I see Raz buy an AWP here and drop it over to the AWPer of the team. And the T side are just going to stick with all AKs at the moment. They don't have the economy to be buying any AWPs or anything fancy. Actually, no, they do have a Galil. They don't have the economy that they want to spend for. Yeah, that the team kill or team damage just then a panic. Oh no, putting Ivor down to 21 HP. This nade could be huge, but Ivor immediately backing up as soon as that glass breaks. He doesn't want to risk anything. And what is Wiffer doing? He's getting extremely aggressive out in mid.
Yeah, he's taking that close mid position. He wants to sort of stay around Vent so he can quickly rotate for this, but Avant have misread this. They think it might be a B hit at this stage, and it is anything but. So they're either misreading it or they're just feeling a lot more confident in their A retake, which they did that for pistol round, but pistol's a very different story.
In saying that, they are more confident, or a lot of teams are confident in their A retakes and don't like retaking B as it is extremely difficult. And as I'm saying this, the push is coming out onto the A site. Ivor out in mid on the flank. Will he be able to come in and help his team? Yes, he will be able to get one, but his teammates are falling very quickly on the site. Now he has to retake 1v3, push into the site. Up against the Org of Soju as well, it's going to make it extremely difficult, and he only has 21 HP. But I do want to step back for a moment. We were talking about Avant, the way they've been reading it. PopOutBoyz have been putting a lot of pressure towards the B site, going to B quite often, so it's not unusual that Avant is reading into the B push and putting 4 players over towards B. So it's making it extremely difficult for them to hold this, but it's PopOutBoyz just aren't as established in the A pushes and A executes as they are in their B executes, it seems like, as they have been hitting B more. So that is something that I feel like they should work on from here on.
Yes, and we're seeing as soon as they're put into a stressful position there where they have to actually just kind of force themselves onto a site, whether it's just a matter of time or the fact that, you know, there's they've been all spotted or anything like that. Yeah, that's pretty much where things get very awkward because they go in, they sort of ad-lib it, and it doesn't necessarily work. Perhaps the Deco Rush here is a bit of an example of that.
Well,
that's Soju.
Rush. Soju is the only player there.
Oh, that angle was set up for Wifia. He's going to get a headshot. They're going to get the bomb plant, but it's a 1 versus 3 situation here. JHD not really in a position to actually stop them from defusing that.
No,
that's it. But as far as ecos are concerned, that was great because one thing that was going to be a bit of a big problem for PopOutBoyz is the fact that CT economy was starting to pick up steam. It was building up a bit of momentum. And you look at it now, and they're around perhaps 2 rounds away from being on a bit of a consolation buy.
Well,
or a force up.
Yeah, force up for the most part, but it's pretty much going to be next round. They are all actually though they have a little bit of a loss bonus, so it could be 2 rounds, as you could say. It is going to be a very difficult position, and Mayweather all know who's been spotted out in the smoke. They know that he's in that corner, but they feel like they may have thought that he's crossed back, and he's just crossing back now. Jumping, they know that he's moved now. Wiffer boosted up, he could be the linchpin in this to shut down the entire PopOutBoyz push, and he does take down Mayweather. The bomb is just below him as well. He does manage to drop down, and PopOutBoyz now they're feeling the pressure.
Yeah, they've got these weird mid-round situations where they're not entirely certain exactly where they want to go. They're still trying to maintain default positions there, but that far into the round, Avant Gaming are able to set up sneaky positions like the counter boost, for example, and that's what's allowing them to slowly just pick apart this T side. And yeah, that's it. Wifia and Raz will pretty much finish that off. And at this stage, I don't necessarily think PopOutBoyz want to play for overtime. I think they want to try and get a W on the board.
Oh, absolutely. They want to get the W. Nobody wants to play for overtime. Overtime is a giant pain. But personally, I don't feel like they're going to be able to pull it out with the way that they've been playing so far. It's been really, really dicey. Really dicey, in the mid-round situations that they keep finding themselves in is making it extremely difficult for them to go anywhere. And Raz with that double kill, Ivor, last player left alive, he's in a very, very difficult position now. He does have a little bit of utility that I can use.
He's got to reapply smoke. It's going to be the right call in this case. It's a slightly open plant, but nothing too risky. They're going to flash in, move into this, and that's basically it. It's going to be firepower onto the same angle. Ivor not able to get those 1 versus 1 duels that he was got to have been hoping for at that point.
The 1v1 duels in that situation shouldn't have actually mattered. They pushed in together. That's a very, very easy spray down, but Ivor unfortunately just missing when he started the spray. Just a little bit to the right of the bodies and wasn't able to correct in time. 2 people shooting back at you. It's not a recipe for survival. And now PopOutBoyz, there's no utility behind them. They are in an extremely dicey situation once again.
This utility usage from Avant Gaming as well, is just chipping away at the health of PopOutBoyz.
It's doing its job.
Like that, just throwing the grenades in at later points. That, I don't know if that's just excellent reading or good timing, just good coincidences for them. Wifia getting a Glebe just before the smoke popped.
Oh no, Ivor standing in a molly for so long, but he's able to take down Soju. He will drop as well though. Mayweather out on
Mayweather.
A, getting 2. And now it's down to Wifia and Panic to hold this off. Panic does have an AWP in hand, and JHD is actually hunting for these kills really quickly before he's going in, but Panic, oh no, he missed. Oh, he clips that first shot actually.
Yes, this does tell them where he's looking to plant though.
They know exactly where he is. He does have a smoke, so he can move around a little bit, but he's still in a very bad situation. He sees the head of Panic, and he thinks they're much closer than they actually are. They're both together. He could get the spray down. Actually, no, he's going to get the 1v1 battles. Gets with it, no, Panic.
USP.
With the USP through the smoke, will be able to take down JHD and give Avant Gaming the win over PopOutBoyz 16-10.
And look, we knew it was going to be a bit of a tough game for PopOutBoyz, but they made that quite competitive. I mean, 16-10 doesn't tell you the entire game's story, of course. That coming back from being down 6-0, that is fantastic. They weren't able to quite figure out their T side as much. They had to rely on executes, and Avant just had to sort of rely on effectively reading those executes. And this is a note that you made just before we hopped into the game, because PopOutBoyz might be relying a bit more on sort of more puggy or scrim tactics. That would have made it a little bit easy for Avant to figure out what was going on. But I'm going to reiterate, I think PopOutBoyz are going to be I think they can only get better this season. So
absolutely, and they are going to be a team to contend with. Once they get to a better point of team synergy and practice with strategies, they will be a team that teams like Avant and Chiefs will have to study and hard counter strat.
Well, that would be the dream for them, of course. So if they can get to that point, then hey, that's fantastic. As for that's a mark of success right there. Avant Gaming, though, they continue what has been a particularly good start to 2019, so they're aiming, they're aiming for the big dogs, and they're going for the Greyhounds, Chiefs, Order, Ground Zeroes, those kind of teams, of course. And yeah, this is just another show that they've got a good shot at doing that. But I believe with that, unless we have any additional closing comments, might be it for tonight.
Well, I do want to comment. Avant did have a hard game against PopOutBoyz, so I do have to say that Avant needs to study and practice a bit more than what they currently have been, or improve rather than study. I don't know how they are practicing at the moment, but they do need to improve a bit more to be able to contend with the higher up teams as of current.
Yeah, and PopOutBoyz are kind of a difficult one to approach in that regard, because how do you really study a team that doesn't have, say, consistent VODs or demos to go over? That's going to be a tough ask. So, but with that, I think we'll want to keep an eye on these two teams going onwards into Season 30 of the MDL ANZ region. But we have been joined by myself, Jevons, my co-caster, you and me. Please throw a follow towards the CappingTV Twitch channel, of course, because we do cover a heck of a lot of MDL matches. We're also covering, I believe, more of the IEM Sydney Open qualifiers. So,
yes,
pretty much just follow the Twitch channel, follow the Twitter, and stay in the loop. And we'll be bringing you a lot more CS in the future, but for tonight, that's it. So, have a nice evening. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
The gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to